Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In this week's video, we have a pretty big update when it comes to the missing middle housing component in Vancouver, specifically the multiplex proposal, which is now going to go to a public forum. I'm going to update you on that and some of the changes they're looking at. We're also going to talk very quickly about Canada's new housing minister as the Liberals head towards another election within the next 2 years, and I'm going to give you a quick market update on where we stand with the Vancouver real estate sales. Real quick before we get started, if this is your first time to the channel, my name is Hassan. I'm a real estate agent in the Vancouver area, and I make educational real estate content to help you on your real estate journey. I also make content designed to help you make your move in and around Vancouver. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to chat with me one-on-one, you can book me for a free call in the Calendly link below. But regardless, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a future video. All right, so big news on the housing front when it comes to Vancouver and it comes to that missing middle, the multiplex proposal. Recommendations were put forth in front of City Council on July 26th, so 2 days ago as of the recording of this video. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the recommendations that were put forth, how they are looking promising, but also how they may be a little bit restrictive as well. So just to give you a bit of a background, this was probably earlier this year when Vancouver City Council was talking about switching single family zones, so what we call RS zones, there's 9 of them in Vancouver, switching those to allow for multiplex units, anywhere from 3 to 6 units. As it stands right now, most of these RS zones would allow for a single family home as well as a duplex, but obviously we're in a housing crisis, we need more supply. So the cities began talking about switching to multiplexes. Victoria has already done this. GTA Toronto has already done it. So we were told that this was going to happen by the end of the year. I'm not surprised it's been expedited into the summer. So recommendations now have been put forth to City Council. They have given it a thumbs up, so their next step now is to put it to a public hearing. One of the things that they're doing as part of this proposal with these RS zones, and in fact RS zones make up 60% of the buildable land in Vancouver. So if you're wondering, how effective this could be, this is one of the greatest or largest mass changes to the city that actually has the potential to move the needle when it comes to supply. So they're going to take these 9 RS zones. We have RS1, RS1A, RS5, and each of these zones, from a realtor's perspective or from a builder's perspective, there's so many little nuances when you're trying to figure out what you can build, what you can do with the land, how much of that land you're able to build on, what we refer to as FSR, what amount you can actually build on that lot. So they're going to take these 9 zones and they're going to create an R1 inclusive zone. So it's going to be a lot easier for builders, developers, homeowners to understand what they can do with their properties. And based on the size of your RS lot, that's going to tell you whether you can build 3 units, whether you can go up to 6 units. Now, in East Vancouver, most of the lots, what we call a standard size lot, is about 4,000 square feet. So that would permit most of them for 4 units. As you go to the west side of Vancouver, the lots get larger, so you're looking at 6 units over there. Now, one of the things the city is doing to encourage multiplex and to encourage multi-unit is, as it stands right now on a 4,000 square foot lot, you can build, if you were to build a single family home, you can build around 2,800 square feet of a single family home. They're actually going to shrink that down now. So they're going to say, look, if you're going to build a single family home, you're going to tear down a home to build another home. You're going to be able to now build less than you can today. A lot of these older homes on, say Vancouver special type homes, a lot of them are 2,100, 2,200 square feet. So still a larger home, but it will be smaller than what you can do today. And again, this is to encourage the multiplex build. So while I think that is a decent step, it's okay. I don't know how much that's going to actually move people into doing the multiplex, the 3 to 6 units versus doing a duplex. Duplex is what you could say a safer build. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to allow for more density on the laneway as part of the proposal as well. So they're basically saying, look, if you're going to put a single family home back up, we're going to make you build less on that single family home, but the laneway that you put in the back, which is often used as a rental unit, we're going to allow you to make that larger. So it's almost like spreading the love, if you will, sharing the wealth when it comes to to a space from a space perspective. So you'll have a larger laneway in the back. You'll have a smaller detached home that you're able to build. On the multiplex side, and this is where I'm kind of hung up on whether this proposal is gonna have a lot of weight, whether it's gonna move the needle a lot, is they're offering 0.7 FSR. So it means that if you have a 4,000 square foot lot, you can build 70% of that from a square footage perspective. Now, we were under the understanding that with these 4,000 square foot lots or the 6,000 square foot lot, you would get a 1.0 FSR. So you could build 4,000 square feet, or you could build 6,000 square feet. Now, what the city is doing is they're gonna allow homeowners to basically to get increased FSR to the 1.0, but you're gonna have to do it in a few ways. Number one of those units, whether it's the 4-plex or the 6-plex, you have to offer it for secured rental. So you have to create a rental unit within your build. Or number two, you have to sell that unit below market value. At this point, we don't know what that below market value is going to mean. Or number three, surprise, surprise, you can pay the city a fee for bonus density. And truth be told, everyone who's going to go for the bonus density, vast majority is going to pay the fee. We don't know what the fee is. But if you followed my channel, you know that there are heavy development cost charges that already go to the city. So this is another way for the city to accumulate some revenue through this proposal. Most people will be paying that fee to apply for the bonus density. Again, we don't know what it is, but I can tell you right now, when you look at the numbers, when you look at detached homes, how they have increased so much in value, excuse me, the margins are already tight, are already extremely tight if you're going to do a 4-plex build, any of these multiplexes. So we need to watch and see what is this bonus density going to be. Now, it's not only developers that are going to look towards doing these multiplexes. It's going to be homeowners as well. There's a lot of people in Vancouver who they've owned their property for a long period of time. They may be mortgage free. A lot of retirees that actually don't have a large income. They live in these Vancouver specials. So the home begins to become too large for them. It's too much home for them. But they don't necessarily have a large income where they can pay these density fees, etc. So perhaps the city is thinking that those are the type of owners that are going to offer a rental unit. Not everyone wants to be a landlord, and actually most people don't, but perhaps they will offer one of the units below market. Again, we'll wait and see what exactly that means. A lot of people that I've talked to in the industry, and people like yourselves, viewers on my channel and clients that I meet, they all ask about the parking scenario. Is this going to clutter our streets? These 4-plexes or 6-plexes, they're not going to have parking designed onto the lot. So yes, there are going to be more cars on the street, but we're in a housing crisis. So you have to pick your battle. Do we want people to have opportunities at housing, or are we focused a lot on the parking? The other thing people talk about is, do we have our services connected? Do we have enough services connected to these neighborhoods and these communities, such as electrical, sewage, any sort of additional services we're going to need to accommodate for more households, if you will, in these areas. So I know the city is looking through that. But as I mentioned, we need more housing supply. So I personally think it's a good thing. But the thing that I'm kind of worried about a little bit is you have such potential with this rezoning to really make a dent in that sort of housing supply crisis that we have. And I would just hate to see there be one little component like that, needing the bonus density payment for the 1.0 FSR. I'd hate for there to be one little component that just throws everyone off, and then ultimately a change like this doesn't actually make the necessary change in the city. All right, so I want to switch gears really quickly. I talked about the housing crisis. Now, this housing crisis, it is not just a Vancouver thing. It's happening right across Canada from a supply, but also from an affordability perspective. Trudeau and the Liberals, just the other day, they announced a cabinet reshuffling. So Canada's former housing minister, Ahmed Hussein, he's no longer the housing minister. He's going to be the minister in charge of international relations, I believe. Sean Fraser, who is going to be the new housing minister. Pretty interesting. He comes as the former minister of immigration. So, obviously being involved on the demand side in this country when it comes to real estate, he's now going to be tasked with the housing side, the supply side of the equation. As the CMHC estimates, he's going to need to add 3.5 million more homes beyond the pace of what we're already building by 2030 to achieve some semblance of affordability and have enough supply for those that need housing in the country by 2030. So he's got a tall task ahead of him. Interesting how he's seen, obviously, the immigration side of things. Real quickly on Ahmed Hussein, who is, again, no longer the housing minister for Canada. He recently came out with a piece, I believe is in the Globe and Mail. He wrote a piece basically trashing the opposition, trashing the conservative housing policy. Meanwhile, him and his political party have been in power while affordability has gotten to its worst level in history, and house prices have doubled over the last 10 years. So I know that piece was met with a lot of ire and angst amongst the real estate community, but also the general public. Not sure if that played a hand in this shuffling. Look, I don't get very political on this channel, and I still won't, but I do think it's important to know that every party, they have their flaws. Every party has their broken promises. We're expected to go to a federal election definitely within the next 2 years, may happen sooner than that. So a lot of people are suggesting that this is kind of the Liberals basically admitting to the public that they need to make some changes, especially on the housing, the affordability front. And so they're making this shift as they prepare to head towards an election where they're trailing the Conservatives in terms of popular vote at this current time. So I mentioned really quickly off the top, I'm going to give you a brief update on where we're at in Vancouver real estate today as we sit in July. We have a few days left in this month, and where we sit today for sales, we're over 2,100 total sales at this point. Last year in July, our total sales were below 1,900. So we will have a stronger sales month compared to last year, but last July, compared to the previous July, was down about 40%. So it's not saying too much if we're, just slightly above last year's number, but this is how it is from a seasonal perspective when it comes to real estate. Summer does slow down. I've definitely noticed over the last couple weeks showing requests slowing down, listings slowing down a little bit. A lot of people are taking time off, not just consumers, buyers and sellers, but also real estate agents as well. So I expect the numbers, in terms of the actual real estate prices, because we haven't had that massive influx of supply, that's really what's supporting the price level right now. So I don't really think that prices are going to drop down. Again, all year we've seen increases in prices, definitely on the Metro Vancouver side, and some softening of prices on the Fraser Valley side. But as we head into the new month, I'll definitely do a market update and keep you guys posted on where exactly we stand. So there you have it, guys. I hope you learned something in today's video. If you did, I'd love it if you could hit the like button and consider subscribing. What that does is it takes this video and it sends it out to more people so they could learn from it as well. And again, if you're in the Vancouver area and you want to chat about your own real estate situation with me one-on-one, you can book me in the Calendly link below, or you can just give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, whatever works. I'd be happy to help you out. But I want to thank you guys again for tuning in this week, and I look forward to seeing you again in next week's video.